Thank you. Obviously, really proud of our guys that we played. You know, the threes are going to get a lot of the attention, and obviously this group has the potential to do that, and they've shown that through the year. But the job we did defensively, I felt, was just as important, if not more important, of how we were able to keep them out of rhythm. That our perimeter did a really good job of ball pressuring, getting into the ball. Our bigs did a good job of being able to help them and then get reattached to their bigs. And obviously when you make shots like that, it makes the game easier. But proud of our group, and looking forward to playing tomorrow.
Thank you, Coach. Now we'll take questions for the student athletes. Please raise your hand. We'll get a microphone to you. And just a reminder that state your name and your media affiliation. So right here.
Mark Stewart, Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel. I guess maybe John and Kamari in particular. Just can you speak to, the satisfaction defensively? What kind of satisfaction do you get from a game like this, especially given some of the challenges that UCLA gave you guys back in January?
Honestly, I wouldn't even say we got satisfaction from it, because that in the last game we knew we could have been better defensively, and we showed that today. So we're not satisfied because we still got more games to be played, and I feel like our defense could be better. We played good defense today, but I feel like we can step it up a notch too.
Yeah, like Hilla said, we got steps to get better. I think we did a pretty good job on their main guys today. But yeah, we just got to keep going, getting better every day. I think at their place we didn't do a great job. That's why we ended up losing the game. But, we just watched film, took that, and used it today.
That was John for the transcriptionist over here.
John, Steve Streaming, Excel Sports. You guys had 22 assists on your 30 buckets. You guys were very aware of each other on the court all day long. What do you attribute that to today?
I want to say the coaching staff. I think they prepared us well. We were able to look at some of the things we did well and some of the things we didn't do so well. The last game, and I think it's just we have unselfish guys in this locker room. We're trying to come out here and compete and do anything we can. And I think sharing the ball really carried us over the top today.
That was John Tonje for the transcriptionist over here. Yes.
Rohan Chakravarti, SB Nation. John, for you as well. Coach has kind of mentioned you, kind of a mild-mannered guy, one of the more calm guys, as for your demeanor. It seemed like today you were pretty animated, getting shots to go, but also for your teammates. How fun is it being out on the court today and just in general playing with this group of guys? And where did that maybe extra sense of emotion kind of come from today?
Question for John Tonje.
I think just being in a competitive game, it's kind of win or go home, and I was just trying to bring any energy I can. I know I'm known as more of a more calm guy, but I think I kind of couldn't help myself today. Some of the guys didn't. I mean, this guy didn't miss a three today, so it's kind of hard to contain it. So it was awesome today.
Back here.
Steve Streaming, Excel Sports again. Kamari and John, you guys have picked your games up here lately. The last 2 days, you've been pretty effective in everything you're doing. What are you guys both collectively seeing on the floor that's making you prosper?
We'll start with John Blackwell.
I think it just starts with us as point guards of the team. We're the leaders of the team. We're the leaders on the court. We're the quarterback on the court. So the guys, feed off our energy. If we're down or not able to go, then, they feed off that. I told Kamari, a couple games that we lost, it's on us. We got to keep it going. We got to keep our energy high, even when we're not playing that good, not shooting it that good. So I think as point guards, that's our job.
Kamari?
Yeah, just to piggyback off what John said, we are the point guards, the head of the snake. So, it starts with us, So we can't just go out there and tell our guys to do one thing and not do it. We got to lead by example. And I feel like we've picked that up. And, we dropped a couple games where we maybe were just telling the guys to do something that we weren't doing it ourselves and whatnot. So, just us leading by example is very key in these games that we want to win.
Right here.
Question for LC Norton, BT Powerhouse. Question for John Tonje. You had an all-around performance today just between scoring, distributing, and rebounding with just a single turnover. Did the floor just kind of open up for you today? What went into that performance?
Yeah, I think I was just trying to be aggressive and within the flow of the game, trying to figure out how they're guarding me and how I can adjust and just where I can be effective. And, with all these guys, around me that balance the floor and make things a little bit easier to open up and make the right decisions. So I think it's just, having talented guys around me that's that helped me make plays.
Back here? Yep.
Julian Darnell from Big Ten Network and The Journey. For John, Kamari, and John, I'd like to hear from each of you. What did you learn from the last experience playing the Spartans 2 weeks ago in East Lansing? What did you guys learn from that experience that you can take into tomorrow's game?
Was that for each of the players, or?
Yes, if I could hear from each of them, that'd be good.
We'll start with John Tonje.
I think one of the things is just how physical they are and how they're trying to get to the offensive rebounds. They cycle a lot of guys. I think they go 10, 11 deep in the roster. So we're just gonna have to be ready to compete, and it's gonna be as simple as that.
Kamari.
I would say not to get jump shot happy. A lot of shots went down today. I feel like we didn't go in the paint enough at their place, so I feel like we can really eat inside and find guys and spray. That's where we can get our threes from inside out. So I feel like if we just attack the paint more than we did in the last game, we have better results.
John Blackwell, please.
Yeah, I just think, down the stretch, we just got to execute a little bit better. I know you're on the road and it's a tough environment, but you just got to execute better as a point guard to do that. And I think we didn't do that there. And were careless with the ball and gave them a few more possessions. And then the effort plays, they had more effort plays than us. We can't give up that many offensive rebounds that they were going to win the game. So, yeah.
We'll take a couple more for the players right here.
Nick Osen, 247 Sports. For John and John, really, all three of you guys scored in double figures. Steve did. X had 8 points. Obviously, really complete performance. Just how kind of impactful is some of that unselfishness when you guys have so many options any night? And just how does that kind of create and really raise the ceiling offensively going forward in March?
We'll start with John Blackwell.
I think we just love playing with each other. Like the guy said earlier, we had 22 assists on 30 baskets. We just love playing with each other. We love to move the ball, share the ball. And it's great when guys like Xavier Amos comes in and gives us a spark off the bench. We know how good he is and how capable he is of doing that. And we needed it today, and he showed up.
John Tonje.
Yeah, I think we have a lot of talented guys, and it's we kind of feed off each other. And when we're able to be unselfish and kind of look for each other, the ball just finds its way back to you. So I think everyone's kind of bought in now, and we're just we're not pushing our own agendas. We're just trying to compete and do everything we can to get the win.
Thank you, guys. You're dismissed. Yeah. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
All right, and we will continue for Coach Gard. So, right over here.
Greg, to start the second half, UCLA came out. They scored the first 7 points, cut it to 12, and then you guys were able to bounce back from that. What went into that stretch of your guys being able to withstand that early surge?
I think understanding how they were going to come out. They put 4 different starters in the lineup than what they had started with, knowing we felt they were going to come out and really try to get after us, pressure us, drive the ball downhill, obviously with Mac. And I didn't think the first few possessions we handled it real well. It took a little bit for the officials to sort some things out and clean some stuff up. And I thought once we were in the bonus the last 17 minutes, so we got there really quickly, and we did a better job of being stronger with the ball, and for the most part stopping dribble penetration. We didn't do a great job keeping them off the glass, but we were able to counter and match their aggressiveness and not let that phase us.
Greg, Steve Strimming, XL Sports. I know that you're talking to the conversation started with 3-pointers. You guys hit 19 of them. It tied the 2022 mark that Iowa had set with Keegan Murray and Bohannon and those guys. What did that mean to you that your guys came out and shot the ball that well?
Well, usually when we shoot it well, we're moving it well, right? We're sharing it, and the assist numbers bear that out too. So I felt we moved it, we changed sides, guys are unselfish and making plays for each other. And when you do that, the ball finds, like John said, the ball will find its way back to you. The ball finds the energy, and I felt we were all playing with energy, and it showed with how good we were offensively.
Right here in front.
Coach Rohan Chakravarti, SB Nation. You've staggered lineups throughout the season, especially with the two bigs. At that 13:29 mark early in that first half, you went back to the starters. You get a 9-2 run right there. Was there maybe a sense of urgency, or what kind of went into that compared to the lineup? And then what do you kind of see offensively with those threes, especially when those five are out in the court?
You talking about the starting five? Yeah, I mean it's some of it's fatigue based. We had Winter and Crowell got their third fouls relatively quick in the start of the half. So I went, I kind of played them opposite each other for a little bit, and then Winter got his fourth, obviously, and then we played Gilmore at the five, which we've done in the past. I was able to play smaller. And they were using Kyle at the five, and we were matching perimeter players around it. So I think the versatility and we're harder to guard too when we've got essentially 2 4s in Gilmore and Amos on the floor together. We're a little faster. We're obviously not as big, but I think in terms of ball movement, body movement, the mobility picks up, and we're harder to keep up with. So, like I said, it was just, and then I went back to the lineup. And when I felt guys were getting tired or gave up a few offensive rebounds, we needed to clean that stuff up. So it was a gut feel of really what I watch and what I feel, and watching body languages and our guys getting a little exhausted, and then I need to get them a break. And obviously some fouls played into those decisions too.
Right here.
Ben Bulch, Los Angeles Times. Were you a little bit surprised they didn't go more to Adai Mara, given the success he had when you met late January at Pauley Pavilion? I mean, 22 points.
I mean, I thought we did a better job on him. We made his catches a little harder. We were around him a little bit more with some help. And he was able to get us on the offensive glass. I know he got at least five tonight. Yeah, 5. I just thought we were more physical. I thought we had more of an edge to us on the defensive end than what we had, back in January.
A few more for Coach right here.
Hey, Greg. Nick Osen, 247 Sports. I touched on it a little bit with John Blackwell, but just X, in addition to a couple triples, 3 blocks, I think 3 boards, a couple of assists. Just where are you kind of seeing his comfort, especially after he sees one go down early, and how is he growing defensively right now as well?
Yeah, I think he's still growing is a good word. I mean, he's got a lot of potential. I think he's got a lot of steps yet to make. I think he's gaining confidence, and that's one thing with a younger, underdeveloped player, that the confidence sometimes ebbs and flows. So for him, it's just keeping the game simple. He knew when things, he missed a block out or something offensive we had called, he went the opposite direction with it. So he understands those things. But I think for him, it's just gaining that confidence and keeping the game simple, and that's one that sometimes, I know he's not young, but he's young in terms of our program, that they think that there's this magic potion that you have to use as a player, and really it's about keeping the game simple and being fundamentally sound on both ends. And, he's still figuring those things out.
Couple more right here.
Julian.
Hi, Coach.
Hey.
Julian Darnell, Big Ten Network, and The Journey. The last time you played Michigan State, Max Klesmit was unable to play. Mm-hmm. Can you describe for me, and listen, it's a team sport, one person, it's not an individual sport, but can you describe for me what difference Max could make into this mix playing the Spartans tomorrow?
Well, I think Max, regardless of who we would match up to play tomorrow, Max is an important. We played 33 games. He's missed 3 of the 33, right? He's missed 3 games. So regardless of who it was, he's starting for a reason, because he's earned that, and he's an important piece. So, and I would say that about if it was somebody else too, because as you put a team together and you grow through a season, roles get established and they start to really define themselves, and players take ownership in those roles. And Max's role is really important with this group. And obviously, an emotional leader, a vocal leader, an experienced leader, and obviously brings an element from his ability to score, defend. It's just it's an important piece, right? And I think it would be I know it would be the same regardless, because we've had other guys in other years that we've missed, and they weren't a starter, but you understand as a team comes together and you go through this journey how important each person is to journey. And when somebody has to sit on the sideline for a little bit and they're part of that rotation, you can maybe survive it for a little bit, but eventually it takes its toll. And eventually you get out of a rhythm, and it forces other players to move out of their role that they had grown into prior to the injury. So it doesn't just affect Max when he missed it. It was the shifting, so to speak, of the seats on the bus that happened. And obviously we'd love to have him back and got everybody healthy. And when we're whole and we've got all our people, we're a pretty good team. So it's regardless of who we're going to play tomorrow. Obviously, I know Michigan State, we've had battles for a quarter century, so I get great respect for Tom and his program, and looking forward to tomorrow.
Last question for Coach right here.
Iragor, Daily Bruin. Sebastian
Where
Mack.
are you? Oh, there you go.
Sebastian Mack was obviously a key attacker for UCLA tonight, 18 points and kind of finding his way into the paint. What can you say about just his play style from what you were seeing?
Well, I thought we did a better job than we did in LA back in January. I think he single-handedly put them on his back and made plays, and I thought we were better after the start of the second half when he was really trying to get downhill and draw fouls and buckets and free throw line. We got better at squeezing gaps, and Klesmit got a charge on him. We were able to withstand some of the stuff he was trying to do off the bounce, and he's a really good player. Obviously, we learned that firsthand back in January. So I felt we were better today, and when that time came.